Midway Games. In an ancient time, the evil mage Garm, using the power of the runestones, released a great evil upon the land. This demon, Score, broke free of Garm's control, crushing him and imprisoning his soul in the underworld. Scorn then released his minions upon the lands and scattered the runestones across the 8 realms so that they might never again be assembled and used against him. No one has dared try until now. Gauntlet, Dark Legacy.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Gauntlet Dark Legacy. As always, I'm your host, Greenleaf, and today we're going on a little adventure into one of my favorite games of the PS2 era. Now, we're unfortunately going to be loading a prior save. I had made a character and done this recording once before, but... well, twice before I should say, but I goofed the recording, so I had to delete those. But I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna keep the character. We're gonna run back through the first couple stages, and then we'll go. Albeit there's a little bit you miss. For me, this game was great because for some of the parents of the older 80s babies, they had Gauntlet. Their Gauntlet was, it was a little arcade, dungeon crawler. It was 8-bit, but, well, or was it 16-bit? I'm not too sure. Let's see. So, they had their Gauntlet, and then in the 90s, we got, Gauntlet, what was that? Gauntlet Legends, I think? Yeah. So, we got that. Well, 90s babies did. And then, the kids who were born in the late 90s who got to experience the PS2, they got this. And, now recently I know they made, a new Gauntlet game that's a lot like the original. And of course I was kind of excited because I was hoping, they'd have made a sequel to this. I don't know.
Shooting magic has a lower effect.
Yeah. I'd always wanted a sequel to this game, and I never did one. It's kind of unfortunate. So anyway, if y'all are wondering, so what's the whole point of this? Well, it's, albeit the design's a little, like, different. The concept's still the same. Basic dungeon crawling. Well, I'd say basic, but there's more to it. But yeah, it's a dungeon crawler, and go through whack mobs. The neat thing about but Mill's well-guarded vault, of course. It's just, since I've had PC SX2, that's what I'm running this on, for those who can't tell. I've loved Gauntlet, and I don't know why I never thought to, do a recording of it. Oh gosh, let's start. Breathe on you. I'm doing Mr. T Proud.
You already have this rune stone.
Oh yeah. I already did this level. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's see. More talking about the game. Well, as you've seen, you got light attacks, you got heavy attacks. I've already used my turbo ability, which is what that little yellow bar turning red is. And let's see, that should be me. I've played this game so many times. I've memorized the levels. It's great. Let's make some good legends, I think. Gas mask. Let's see. Oh. Limited levitation. Yeah, you got your basic enemies. These are sort of a second mid-tier enemy. You got suicide runners, and they're either gas or fire bombs. Grab you. I'm just trying to remember what I talked about. You got the little maggots. They're every realm has their own kind of little crawling enemy. There's something on the ground to keep you on your toes, or I guess keep off your toes. But yeah. Let's see. I remember one of the things about between this and I believe Gauntlet Legends was this is sort of just like an improvement to Legends. You know, added more characters and I think more realms. I'll eventually go and play Legends and see what the big difference is. But yeah, give me some basic enemies. The dude with this big saw thing. He's like the third tier of enemies. He's got a perfect spawner. I don't know what their damage output is. It's probably high. I just know that usually they need heavy attacks to whack them down. Whack. Or melee, if you feel gutsy. Right, the crystals. Okay. I believe there are 8 realms? 8, 9. Oh yeah. 9 realms, a variety of characters to choose from. Character selection. But honestly, this game it was a great PS2 heyday game in my opinion. Just you got to see, if you ever had your parents talk about Gauntlet, or you've ever heard of the game, it's it was a big deal. And this comes along, and I imagine parents were like, "Hey, Gauntlet, I remember that game. I played that game when I was in arcades." Just wasted a super shot. That happens sometimes with super shot. I'll accidentally fire off the second shot. But exploding barrels. Yeah. Pretty much just about everything almost everything in this game can kill. Fire gunner. Yes. See? Enemies can hurt. The environment hurts. They have no wait, no, there's big traps. See? There's a trap. I should explain the magic since I've been just tossing it about wildly. It's mostly it'll come more towards the later level. It's sort of your whole tertiary attack, really. At certain levels, it can help fight. It does some. It all depends on the character, but if I remember correctly, shut up. I'm talking Mr. Explodey Bomb Band. You will die. Darn exploding zombies. Anyway, right, magic. At certain levels, depending on the character, your magic will do a different thing. I believe the Jetster's is that his will destroy traps. But I forget what level that's at. I need to look it up. Yeah, I have enough crystals now. Normally I'm supposed to go through all the levels, and you know, I think by at least I think by the almost last level, you know, like second to last level, you'll get enough crystals. But this is a replay. Just, you know, show you guys the levels, show what they're about. The path ahead is laden with traps for the greedy. Guess what? I'm gonna play through, so you know, I'm a little greedy. Ow. I legitimately just stood in that for no absolute reason at all. Come on. I got poison fruit. Yeah, there are a lot of things that can kill you. Even the fruit. The fruit hurts. The one thing I never showed in my original playthrough was these chests. Because, fun fact, even chests are not to be trusted.
Some chests may explode when opened.
Yes, thank you, Summer. That's what I was explaining. Yeah, that's who the whole narrator's voice is I'll show you. There's a yellow wizard dude who...
Don't waste magic.
Yes. He's sort of like the guide to the game, you know. He'll be like, hey, you know, meat heals more health than, you know, fruit. Don't waste magic, stuff like that. But yeah, he's a big wizard dude, and do not pass through the gate until you find 2 switches. So he'll give you hints and tips as you play the game. For at least a little bit, anyway. Restoroni, Mr. Oh man. I remember what those were called. They were... Okay, there's bosses that... I mean, they're basically mini-bosses, but they're... Guardians, I think, is what they were called. Now we're getting to the real point of magic, in my opinion. See this dude in the cloak? That's Death. He doesn't like you. He doesn't like many people. But he doesn't like to be disturbed, really. I'm gonna go disturb him.
Use magic to kill Death.
Yeah. Now there's 2 types of Death. Red Death and Black Death. Black Death steals your experience, which is no fun. Red Death steals your health, which also is equally as unfun. But you can usually, yeah, just go away with magic. He sometimes reappears. Not too often, but sometimes. Alright, and here's the exit portal. And now we're at the summary screen. You know, this just shows your stats, you know. I don't believe I killed 950 things, but maybe or 211. Maybe I did. I never really counted. I always thought it was just sort of a points thing. You got your stats for, you know, when you level up. This is the, you get the gold because then you can buy items, you know, heal your character, get keys. These are all just, different kinds of, magic, really. Well, not magic in the sense that I've been using it. Power-ups, I mean. That I don't know if Gauntlet Legends did it, but this game has power-ups. You know, you can use different types of elemental amulets. I never really knew if, you know, enemies were weak to a certain type of amulet. It would make sense if they were, but I don't really know. The different breaths, I've seen me using Acid Breath. There's the Super Shot again. The Reflex Shield is interesting, but you sort of, like, gotta pick your battles with it, because it's more for, like, the occasional ranged enemy you find. Electric Shield's neat, because you can just sort of plow through enemies and you just zap them, but I'll show you all that later. File Shield, same thing. Ooh, the hammer. The hammer will come up in, yeah, the rest of these y'all will see. Oh, at the bottom you can just barely see it, but you get enough gold, you can actually forcibly put stat points into your thing. Get your character stronger. Nice. The inventory screen. Now this is sort of where, you know, you want to pay attention. At the bottom are the crystals for, yeah, let's see, eight rounds. And you know, I've been collecting them, scooping them up. The gold items are for their different wings to Summoner's Tower, which is where we'll go back. Because, you know, they like to say, hey, you know, you have to, you know, complete these 2 things, get enough crystals and enough gold items to go into the next area. Which I guess for, you know, something like this is understandable. At the top we've got boss items, actually. The boss items are interesting because they'll there are bosses in this game. They're the final portal for the realms, but the boss items will weaken bosses. The thing is that the real interesting tidbit is the item that defeats the boss of the realm that you're in is not in the realm that you're in. It's in another realm, so you can't. You could go and fight the boss if you wanted to, but you'd also be at a disadvantage and possibly die. And you don't really want to die in this game. It's a bit roguelike. And that also explains the whole board on the side here, this thing, since y'all can see my cursor. But those are shards. Well, it's a shard board for when you beat the bosses. Yeah, I can quick go over the characters. So we've got the Jester. Okay, so we'll cover the basics. You got the Warrior, the Valkyrie, the Wizard. I'm sure y'all recognize some of these, and the Archer from the original Gauntlet. And then you've also got the Dwarf, the Knight, Sorceress, and the Jester, which is me. I can pick different colors for myself. The color doesn't actually modify anything. It's just, you know, what you want your dude to look like. Always, you know me, I'm the whole green guy, so. But then, these ones with the question marks, they're the mystery characters, I believe, that Legends added. And, albeit they're sort of, you know, similar to the main crew, they all look different. Like you got the Medusa, who I believe is the Sorceress, but, you know, she's, I believe the special characters had more of the starting, like, specialty stat. Like, you see how the highlight in purple of, you know, what they're good at. Oh, yes, I've seen and noticed that for most of the yellow characters, they're black. But yeah, I believe the Sorceress is, or the Medusa is, yeah, she has slightly stronger magic than the Sorceress. Anyway, back to the Jester.
Green Jester.
We're gonna spawn back in here, back in the tower.
Congratulations,
yes,
crystals to enter the Mountain Kingdom.
Well, that was different. Maybe I talked through it. Anyway, so that's gonna conclude this video, and just a reminder, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch y'all in the next video. See ya!